There is a problem. The text is very clear that they hurried to place Jesus in the tomb because the Sabbath was approaching. This is the primary proof text for a Friday crucifixion and makes a Wednesday crucifixion seem impossible. Well, it's only impossible if you don't properly understand the biblical calendar. You see, according to Leviticus 23, Passover falls on the 14th day of the first month, but the next day, the 15th day of the month, is also an appointed time on God's calendar. On the 15th day of the same month begins the Feast of Unleavened Bread to the Lord. For 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. The 15th day of the month starts the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is a 7-day festival in which no leaven was to be eaten. And Leviticus goes on to tell us, on the first day, you are to hold a sacred assembly. You are not to do any regular work. The first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread is a Sabbath. Following Passover, the next day is always a Sabbath. It doesn't matter what day of the week it falls on, the day after Passover is always a Sabbath day. Therefore, Jesus' crucifixion doesn't need to be leading into the weekly Sabbath because there is a Sabbath day on the biblical calendar on the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This would account for why they needed to hurry to place Jesus in the tomb as the Sabbath was approaching. It wasn't the weekly Sabbath, but the Sabbath of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the day after Passover. This would mean that Jesus was placed in the tomb and rose from the dead on Sabbath days. It's almost like he really is the Lord of the Sabbath.